Hi, I'm William Stokes. I'm the joint founder and CEO of CoSpace. We're a flexible workspace operator, and this is our latest project in Reading. So this deal was quite an interesting one. So it came to us via an agent. We have an agent that works externally but is kind of a part of the CoSpace team. He brought us this site. Ironically, we said no to it quite a few times, and he insisted we come view it. We came to view the site and decided immediately that it was the space for us. We knew it from the building location, the wider development, but it was primarily the agent that really kind of sold us the building and brought us in. So the initial challenges that we faced were there was already a design in place and it wasn't the design that we wanted to go with. So we actually had to meet with the contractor, the design team, make sure that the changes we wanted to incorporate were going to be incorporated. If there was any cost, where that cost was going to come from, we ended up having to pay some contributions towards extra costs as well as the building owner. So for us, the challenge was initially getting the design bottomed out, getting the design confirmed, as well as just figuring out, okay, well, how are we going to bring this together? How are we going to make it a part of the wider development? How are we going to get the local councils and the business groups to buy into the success of the space as well? So design and architecture is quite a quirky one. For us, we wanted to be an operator that had exposed services and that retained building features and made those quite a key part of the wider scheme. You'll see within this space, we've got exposed services, we've got exposed ceilings, down to making sure the space is designed acoustically. We have a really good design team in place that help us to do that, because me and Ali recognise we don't have that skill set. But certain things we had to make sure we controlled from day one, which was making sure we had acoustics, down to the glass we use that gives a higher dB rating, versus the soft finishes and all the elements that we bring in to help with those acoustics and with all the wider retaining of the features. Yeah, I learned several lessons from this project. Probably one is how not to deliver a project during a COVID crisis. For us, the main things that we learned was to make sure we have everybody in the team in place to start with. We ended up bringing in a design team quite later stage, and we ended up retrofitting a lot of things because we realised we needed X, Y, and Z. For us, it's making sure we've got that from day one. I'm a very big fan of kind of build to print as opposed to the design and build side of things. So making sure that we can control, okay, well, what are the finishes? What are we actually putting in, controlling those elements, as well as bringing together the core CoSpace team to market and sell the space at the right time as well. One thing that we didn't do here that I wish we'd done earlier was a show office. We got so busy. Next thing we like, oh, we need a show office. We didn't manage to put one in. That's what we would do moving forward. Yeah, we're really happy with the final outcome. The design team we had in place, they really took what mine and Ali's vision was for the space and ran with it, to the point where we came in and were kind of wowed by the different things arriving, down to the furniture, the soft fittings, the colours on the wall, which you'll see as you go through. We were really impressed with how the design team were able to take what was in our head and actually put it into the space. Certainly wasn't going that way from mine and Ali's initial conversations and our initial thoughts, but luckily we brought people in that could actually deliver for us that we needed to. So there's a whole range of suppliers that we've used on this space. We used UHS for the furniture that you're looking at now and that you're sitting on. Most of the breakout and communal space furniture came from those guys. They manufacture in the UK, that was key for us. They use sustainable fabrics and materials, that's another key element for us. We sourced the desks and chairs from a company called CoPlus and Utility Plus. I deliberately went for a desk that was a higher quality and that also would endure us for, a 10-year term or a 5-year term, whatever. But I also wanted something unique that not many spaces had. If you go into other spaces, you get a white kind of tabletop. We wanted to go down the line with an oak one. The chairs are very ergonomical, so they're very good for your posture. They're very good for the way that you sit. And those are the things that we wanted to put in, albeit that they won't necessarily be recognised, but they're quite key to us as an operator. So the initial opening was today. We decided to delay it a month off the back of Boris's announcement the other day, which was the kind of U-turn on returning to offices. The demand is still there. We've spoken to a lot of people that were due to move in. We were quite well pre-let. We've said to them, look, if we delayed a month, would that work with you? And all of them are happy to do that. So we've been very fortunate. With the new restrictions coming in, we've been very fortunate that we work quite low dense anyway. So we have low dense population within the space. We have a really strong and good HVAC system that has not only heating, cooling, but also fresh air. So you're constantly getting fresh air throughout. As you'll see, there's a lot of biophilia in terms of we've got plants throughout the entire space. They not only help with acoustics, but there's several plants in here that actually help with COVID and with those kind of pathogens. The very key thing for us is making sure that everybody that uses the space is safe. So we've got the right measures in place when somebody comes into the space to check them initially. We've got sanitizer throughout. We've got areas where people can distance and people can be isolated. We've deliberately tried to work with the changing needs as things progress. If we were to launch this space much sooner, when we were looking 2-3 months ago, the things we would have had in place would have been a lot more stringent. We're very fortunate now that we've got the things in place that can roll forward and will adapt as and when needed.